is going on, guys? How y'all doing all tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for my live review of this week's episode of Smackdown, the September 4th, 2020 edition. It took place once again at the WWE ThunderDome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. We're going to look back at everything that happened on this show. A good amount happened, actually. Not going to deny. It was an intriguing episode. Was it a great episode? I wouldn't say it was great. Solid. I actually was intrigued by things that happened on the show. Again, we have the new Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, who's a heel. We got a more clear-cut direction about his character and how he plays the system, going pretty good. And of course we have Bayley doing something we've been waiting for a long time to happen. An interesting turn of events in the Universal Championship picture. We had a few other odds and ends, pretty much the set for the Intercontinental Championship feud as well. So, we had some things on this show. I'll say this was actually, and again, this is saying much, one of the better episodes of SmackDown we have had in a while. Because there is some fresh, new life. That's what happens when you turn Roman Reigns heel. Was it that hard, Vince? Just saying. So we're going to take a look back at everything that happened on this show and talk about it. Speaking of which, though, before we get into SmackDown, I have another video coming about a tag team that was released today from WWE. I'll probably do that sometime tomorrow during the day, give my brief thoughts on that. But before we start this stream, I want to talk about some news we got revealed today that it's very buzzing on social media right now regarding the WWE and Vince McMahon's latest insane little proposition, or what the heck you want to call it. Just super insane and just, completely sounds just ridiculous. So, Vince McMahon is giving all WWE workers 30 days to get off third-party accounts, such as YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Cameo, whatever you want to call it. Any of those things that they're doing and obviously getting attention for, he's asking them. No, he's not asking them. He's demanding them. He's requiring them to get off. Delete them. And why? Because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Again, he is full of his ego. You want to know why I believe he doesn't want to do that? Look at one prime example. Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder had an internet show that got him so over, they had to put the United States Championship on him at the end of 2011. And what happened at the beginning of 2012? They put him in that freaking Embrace the Hate storyline with John Cena and Kane. And they buried him, and they ruined him. You want to know why? Because Zack Ryder got himself over. So, obviously, Vince is afraid because, if they do that, then they're going to create, their own, fan base. People are going to be reacting to them in ways that, I don't believe that they should be reacting. I control them. They're independent contractors. They can do whatever the frick they want to do, Vince. So now, they can't have a personal life. They can't, stream their video games and, just talk other things, have a good time, be themselves, be out of their characters and just show people who they really are. Cool people that you actually think, hey, you know what? This guy actually has something. I want to see what he actually can do, in the ring if Vince allows him to do. But no, that can't happen. I am pretty sure Xavier Woods' Up, Down, Down show is going to get canceled now because of this. AJ Styles or whoever the heck else streams on Twitch and, posts their great, TikToks and whatnot and stuff. That's all going to get ruined for them. Because Vince McMahon is afraid that they're going to get over in ways that he cannot control. And he has to be in full control of everybody in this company. Gosh. How could someone just love to work at this place? Like, how does anyone enjoy working at this place when they can't even have other fun in their lives, and they can't even, share their love for video games or other things going on? They have to be their characters all the time, and there's every place they go to. They have to act like, it's stupid. It's so stupid. Anybody else who's in, acting and whatnot, or actors, they can be friends off screen. They can do things off screen, have fun with their lives. But now they can't. It's just like, okay, why do people even work in this place? This man turned 75 years old. He looks old as crap when he showed up on SmackDown last week. And it's just totally ridiculous why they're doing this. I think it's completely unfair to the wrestlers. They deserve to have, their hobbies. I think they enjoy doing the things that allow people to actually get to know who the heck they actually are, besides, the names they appear on screen. But also, of course, they should be just who they are on screen. Look at Cody Rhodes. Look how awesome he's done again. Cody Rhodes is a prime example. To me, it's the biggest example. Has made the biggest statement, in my opinion, of someone that told Vince McMahon, screw you, I don't need you to be successful. And now look at him. Look at what he's put together since he left WWE in 2016. Incredible career. So I'm sorry. I think it's just completely BS as to Vince, telling them that they gotta have 30 days to get off their third-party accounts. That is just so stupid. So ridiculous. Like, what's gonna be next? You're not allowed to see their families. Their families have to call them by their wrestling names. It's so stupid. Literally, it's the dumbest thing. One of the dumbest things I have ever heard Vince McMahon do. In his senile old age. But I wanted to get that out there first before I started again. There is, of course, a video coming probably tomorrow, which I'm going to try to do that video and get my Clash of Champions card predictions done as well. Because, trust me, guys, even though we're finally getting out of, these 3 weeks of pay-per-views, next week's going to be hell for me at work because I'm going to be short-staffed next week. So I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be cranky next week. So just getting it out there right now. But this weekend, it's going to be fun. 3-day weekend, get to see friends, get to watch AEW, All Out tomorrow night. Just have a ball. And I'm going to get back to my Harry Potter Let's Play also. So, but without further ado, though, let's talk about SmackDown tonight. First, live chat. Tyler didn't like the show, and he also thinks that Vince needs to go. Again, Vince is the Joe Paterno of WWE. He's going to die in the chair. He's not going to give it up to anybody, kicking and screaming. He's going to be begging, from wherever he goes when he dies. Heaven, purgatory, hell, who the hell knows where? Who knows where Vince McMahon is going to go when he dies? I don't know where. That's up to the big man upstairs where he wants to put Vince McMahon. It's up to him. But wherever he goes, he's even going to try it from there, just control the minds. The ghost of Vince McMahon is going to haunt somebody. Nah, just kidding. Anyways, so let's talk about the show. So we opened up. Which CM Punk line are you talking about, Tyler? How he'd like to think that this company would be better after Vince McMahon's dead, or you apologize, and you will like it. Apologize! Yeah, we had her on the show tonight too. Yeah, Nia Jax on SmackDown tonight. But let's roll into the show. Let's talk about it. And of course, I had to improve both graphics. We'll change both graphics for the show. I brought, of course, Roman Reigns with the blue belt, and Bayley, without the women's tag title, and just picked a different photo just because the other one was, just for something different. Anyways, so we opened up with the big dog, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman coming out. Of course, Roman Reigns sells the music. I know a lot of people are hoping that Roman, changes his theme music. Hearing rumors it's coming. We'll have to wait and see. So, Roman comes out with Heyman. They get into the ring. Roman stands in the center of the ring just like Brock Lesnar used to always do. And instead of Paul Heyman being, the loud, energetic man on the microphone, he was more soft-spoken and more so just... I don't know. He had a different tone. It was different. So, he gets on the microphone. He says, I thought that I was out, but this man pulled me back in. If you get that reference, if you guys are fans of Seinfeld and you get that reference, we can be friends. But don't make fools of yourself pointing fingers at me. I didn't corrupt Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns corrupted me. And why? Because he was gone, tossed aside, and thrown into shark infest waters. Then the big dog saved him and pulled him back onto the island of relevancy. They did the same damn thing to Roman they did to Paul. And what happened to the thank yous and appreciation? Through life-threatening illness, Roman over-delivered and nobody thanked him or offered genuine appreciation. When he needed a little time off, the Fiend took his title. A fiend isn't born to reign, and neither is a monster. Roman Reigns as your champion has always been defined by what WWE purports itself to be built on: family, tradition, legacy, and responsibility of being champion, and the accountability held to those actions as champion. And that's who Roman Reigns is. On Raw, they had a triple threat number one contenders match, but everything about the Universal Champion will be bigger and more spectacular, so they're doing a fatal four-way tonight to find out who gets to be sacrificed to the big dog. He's not going to name his would-be contenders, and he'll leave Anderson Cooper and Carmella's latest boyfriend, which I cracked when he said that, to hype up their resumes on commentary. And it's as simple as this. My name is Paul Heyman, and I serve as special counsel to the tribal chief, your reigning, defending, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion, Roman Reigns. Roman then takes the microphone from Heyman. He puts it up and he says he's a man of his word, and he did just what he would say at Payback. Signed the contract, wrecked the Fiend, wrecked the Monster, and left as Universal Champion. He doesn't care who he has at Clash of Champions. Feed him in and watch him get slaughtered. This is his island, not his yard, his island. And when you have this kind of power, all you have to do is believe. Just kidding. He has to do is show up and win. Believe that. Or just believe that. And they exit. Perfect. Was it that hard, Vince? Seriously. Was it that hard? Are you in that much pain right now? Because you're finally letting us boo this man. And it's organic. Booing this man and rolling with it. And it makes sense. Within 2 weeks, Roman Reigns has had some of the best booking he has had in his entire main roster career. The story wrote itself. Paul Heyman was out of a job. Roman Reigns obviously wanted a little time off, because, obviously, of keeping his family safe. And Heyman's right. The idea behind Roman Reigns being champion was supposed to be, everything he said, family, legacy, courtesy, all those things. It's what Roman Reigns is supposed to be. But the fans never received Roman that way. And it was one way for the fans not react to him the way he had hoped to. But it's another thing for a man to take time off. Just a little time off. And yet they try to just throw him away and move on with without him. Simple story that just needs to be told to lead Roman Reigns to this heel turn, and who believes that, the WWE doesn't. I mean, he doesn't need WWE. The WWE needs him. So why would he show up and put on a 20-minute classic when he can just show up, just wreck everything up, wreck the such good shit, and take the championship? When he's got this power, like he said, all he has to do is just wreck everything and leave. Show up and win. Perfect. Great way to start off the show. And honestly, again, Roman Reigns, when that time comes, is going to put over an excellent babyface. Give them that big, well-deserved win. We waited to see Roman Reigns actually put someone over in a huge, huge way. Well, 2017, he did put over Braun Strowman. So he is capable of doing it. And again, I'm still saying, hold that title till WrestleMania. WrestleMania 37, Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee. Again, there is history. Going back to Survivor Series last year, the final two in the men's Survivor Series match, Roman Reigns gave Keith Lee the respect he deserved. Now Roman Reigns wants the spec back in return. It's Roman Reigns time, guys. And it's time to finally enjoy what the big dog has to offer. But who faces him next? Well, we'll get into that in a bit. But anyways, so we have, first, we didn't have, before the next match, we see Roman and Heyman walking backstage when they run into Reigns' real-life cousin, Jey Uso. Yes, he slaps Roman's hand, tells him the whole family is proud of him, in which, Paul then moves away, and Jey then asks Roman, what's up with you and Paulie? Do you trust him? And Reigns says, trust him. Everything's in order. And Jey says, I've always got your back, man, but if you need him. And Roman tells him he's got business to take care of. But hit him up if he needs him. And he suggests getting a steak at the show, but then Roman's already gone. So getting family involved, and it takes things to a different, interesting turn. But of course, we'll get into that later. We didn't have this match with Heavy Machinery and The Miz and Morrison. Again, they've just really made Miz and Morrison into a joke, so the main reason why I didn't really enjoy this. But of course, Otis brings out the Money in the Bank lunchbox and the Money in the Bank contract briefcase. The match is whatever. Otis gets the victory with a Vader bomb from Otis onto the Miz. But afterwards, John Morrison steals the Money in the Bank briefcase and runs off, act like he won it. I keep saying, John, why'd you come back? Why'd you come back, John? This booking for you is just horrible. Absolutely horrible booking for John Morrison. So then we have this backstage segment with Big E, Drew Gulak, and the Lucha House Party celebrating Xavier Woods' birthday. And they're saying Xavier Woods is going to be showing up here tonight to celebrate his birthday. And then also Big E starts to hype up the number one contenders match, because it was announced. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about this. It was announced that there's a number one contenders fatal 4-way, and the winner faces Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship Class Champions. Listen to this card. Big E, okay, he won. I mean, maybe it's a little too soon, but okay, whatever. Matt Riddle, same thing, kind of too soon, but he won. Sheamus, who lost to Big E at Payback, and King Corbin, which we all know that. Why isn't The Fiend getting his rematch? What is the story behind The Fiend not getting his rematch? It should be Roman Reigns versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, at Clash of Champions. Unless they're going to do that at Hell in a Cell. But knowing WWE, they'll probably ruin Hell in a Cell again this year with the men and have some awful match involving them inside the cell. Jeez, oh man. But So I don't get why there's not even giving the Fiend this rematch. Especially also, Roman didn't pin the Fiend at SummerSlam. I mean, at Payback, he did not. He hit him in the balls, but he didn't pin the Fiend. And of course, I'm wondering, is the Fiend supposed to have balls? Because, well, he's not even human. So, anyway, getting back to this segment, again, I still don't get why they just did that and had the Fiend there. Big E was hyping up him being in the number one contenders match, till security guard tells him that Xavier Woods is here. He takes the cake head to the loading dock, but was blindsided by Sheamus, who beats him down, smashes his face into the hood of a car before climbing atop and drawing Big E up, and then he hits the white noise into the windshield, which then leads to Big E not being cleared to compete for this match, but he will find a replacement for him. But then Paul Heyman rolls up, pulls him aside, and Paper has an idea, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Bayley and Sasha are interviewed backstage. It's been a rough couple weeks for them, losing both the Raw and WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Sasha asked if there's a point, and Bayley said they had no idea how to prepare for Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. But now they know, and they're going to win the titles back. And then Sasha gives a passionate defense of their friendship and their record, and then we get ready for their match. Well, first, before we had that, we said that we hear that Nakamura and Cesaro get an inset promo offering their take up on the women's tag title match, and they also mock Big E for the heck of it. Who knows why? So we have this rematch for the women's tag titles. The Golden Role Models, Bayley and Sasha Banks, taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. The women's tag team champions. Be honest, again, I really didn't care. But of course, the story behind in this match, Sasha Banks took some pretty nasty bumps tonight. Shayna slides out of a way of a corner knees, and Banks goes full force knee first into the post, of course, hurting that knee and selling it like a freaking champ. And then Shayna and Nia continue to take advantage of the knee the whole entire time. And this really beats Sasha Banks. And then the match ends with Nia Jax doing a double cross body on Sasha and Bayley, pinning them both to retain the women's tag titles. Again, Ruby, Liv, take them off of them, especially Nia Jax, at Clash of Champions. Please. I beg you. But after the match, though, Sasha, of course, is in the ring being treated for her knee. Her injured knee that she had ran into the post. And they created a ton of suspense for this. There was Bayley sitting in the corner, and then they even went to break and came back. Bayley's like, no, let me help her, taking her out, rolling her out of the ring. But of course, Sasha was, shoving away officials. Bayley's waving them off. Then she's helping her best friend out of the ring. They're on the apron. And then BAM! Bayley starts kicking at Sasha Banks. And she puts her knee into the steel steps, stomps away at the knee, throwing her into a barricade, dragging her around ringside, smashing her into the apron, and returning her to the ring, smashing her face into the mat again, over and over and over, right in front of a commentary to make a point before the DDTing the knee as well. She just, again, brutalized that knee. And she's screaming at Michael Cole, yeah? Is it boss time now? Continuing the beat down on now her former best friend. She gets a chair. She wrapped it around Sasha's destroyed knee until Banks tries firing back, throwing a few kicks of her own, but obviously on one leg, just already wounded big time. Bayley just took advantage, and just dragged and just beat her down, hit her, hit the bus driver maneuver, what she calls it, and then she, just when you thought she was going to injure the knee, like break the knee with a steel chair around her knee, she goes much worse. She puts the chair around her head and does a diving stomp off of the top, and then smashes the chair right into Sasha's neck. Medics were in there immediately, as Bayley had this crazy look in her eyes. And after how many years, this turn finally happened. Now here's the thing. They did have Bayley turn on Sasha in 2018. But then they immediately sent them to counseling to help them get on track and become the eventual women's tag team champions. That was a time where I thought, okay, Bayley doesn't need counseling. No, this time, Bayley needs counseling. She tried to freaking snap the neck off of Sasha Banks with that chair. But she had a brutal, savage assault on Sasha, and the turn has happened. Now, mind you, I'm still standing my word. I still think this should have been Sasha Banks turning on Bayley. Because I still think Sasha Banks, it has a ton more mileage, is in her element, has her niche as a heel. Bayley, she makes her heel run work at times. At times I get annoyed with her, but at times I do think, she still makes it work. But again, Sasha is just much more fit to be a heel. Like, I'm honestly hoping this is kind of like a light, well, I'm not going to do a turn alert yet until Sasha comes back, like a light face turn, but then once this feud ends, she's back to being a heel. And I think once this ends, we're going to see Sasha stay on SmackDown and Bayley go back to Raw to separate them, as I think should happen. But man, was this a great assault still. Either way, it was still a great beatdown. Of course, the story is, as a lot of people are saying online, obviously it was just one championship left on the Golden Rule models. Obviously, Bayley had to do what she had to do to protect herself. Those two knew each other that well, and either of them would have turned on each other. So Bayley just fired the first shot. And she fired the first shot way big time. She protected the crap out of herself so that Sasha Banks would not take her title off of her. Fortunately, though, that's what's going to happen. Now, I think what we're going to see is, we'll probably, to sell the injury, probably see Bayley take on like Naomi or something like that at Clash of Champions. Save Bayley and Sasha Banks Hell in a Cell. Even if it's the main event of Hell in a Cell, do it. I'm hoping to God, I doubt it's going to happen, but it's a classic, just like their classic of a match at TakeOver Brooklyn 1 they had, and their really good Iron Woman match they had TakeOver Respect as well. But those women are destined for a Hell in a Cell match. We've waited how long for this feud to happen? We're finally getting it. And like I said again, it's about time. When I was watching this and it happened, I'm like, here comes the turn, all through the urn. I don't know. I was just thinking of some type of dumb rhyme to do. Oops, dropped my microphone. But yeah, the turn finally happened. And yes, I would have loved to have seen this match happen. I would have loved to have seen this match happen at like WrestleMania or something like that. But again, they dragged it on for too long. Do that Hell in a Cell. Do the match between Bayley and Sasha at Hell in a Cell, and it will be awesome. Be a match of the year candidate. And quite frankly, I still think it should main event the show. And of course, bring that prestige back to Hell in a Cell. So, with that being said, that's that. Check the live chat. Let me see here. Of course, he wants AJ to turn face and beat Roman. Maybe. I definitely want to see Roman Reigns and AJ Styles, though. A heel Roman Reigns versus a face AJ Styles. That'd be awesome. He's not trusting WWE for doing another Hell in a Cell match. Oh, neither am I. But at some point, we're going to have to do them. But again, of course, like I said, I hope they don't screw up again like they did last year. Last year, they killed Hell in a Cell for me. And many of us. But anyways. So Sasha Banks was stretched into an ambulance. Then we get Sami Zayn coming out. He gets pissed off at the production crew because they didn't announce him as Intercontinental Champion or even have it in his graphic. And he gets on a headset and he was told that they didn't have it in the notes. And of course, he still believes he's Intercontinental Champion despite the fact that he was stripped of it when he went to work during COVID, which I still think is dumb. But so Zayn says they're not taking him seriously, so he wants to redo his whole entrance. Out comes Jeff Hardy, who says Sammy doesn't need to attack him if he wanted a title match. All he had to do was ask him, which I hate when they do that. Sammy says that's very generous, but also confusing since he is the Intercontinental Champion. They start bickering back and forth till AJ Styles comes out, and says that they can parade around with these titles knowing that Styles is the uncrowned champion, but then Sammy asks, everyone's gone crazy. Hardy says if AJ is healed, he's ready to defend the title against him. And then Sammy takes offense to that, and then, they start brawling, the three of them. It basically ends with Sami Zayn with Haluva kicking. So Sami Zayn's actually wrestling now. So hopefully that stays the way it is whenever we get further down the line. And I think we're going to triple threat match at Clash of Champions. Awesome. We were almost to our main event, but then it was announced that taking the place of Big E is Roman's cousin, Jey Uso. One half of the Usos was replacing Big E in the Fatal 4-Way match for the for number one contendership for the Universal Championship, which definitely caught my attention. Of course, before we get there, we have a vignette of a woman with shot in the heels, walking around, carrying a furry coat and a smoky room. Who is this? I have no idea, but we'll have to find out. Hopefully it's not a whole Evelina thing or anything like that. That dumb crap. Otis revealed that even though John Morrison took the briefcase, he had the Money in the Bank contract hidden inside the lunchbox Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Miz and Morrison freak out about how they basically swapped, the lunchbox and the briefcase and everything inside there, which was dumb. Jey Uso rolls up to Roman Reigns backstage, thanks him for getting him in the Fatal 4-Way tonight, which is true they did. Paul Heyman did talk to Adam Pearce, but Roman says it's about time he got some respect and wishes him luck. And then we have Matt Riddle come out, King Corbin come out and start bitching about nepotism. Sheamus came out and Jey Uso come out, and we had some chaos. Before we had the match start, though, Bray Wyatt appeared in the Firefly Funhouse and says, we're sad just like him because he lost his toy again. Yes, we are. But next week he's going to have someone cheer us up. A brand new friend comes to the Firefly Funhouse. Probably Alexa Bliss. Oh, speaking of which, afterwards we see Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss watching on the monitor, and Nikki has about 4 or 5 dreadlocks in her pigtails, and she begs for forgiveness, and they hug it out, but then Nikki still feels something up. Main event was King Corbin versus Jey Uso versus Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. Decent match. Again, it's the fact that we don't even have the Fiend getting an opportunity at the title, I think is stupid. But it was pretty obvious from the back that what's going to happen. Jey Uso won the match. The only nitpick I have is the fact that he pinned Matt Riddle. Riddle hit his floating bro, a flip that he hits on his corkscrew senton. He hit that on Corbin, but then Jey followed up with a splash, and he gets the victory. And he welcomes Roman Reigns to the Uso Penitentiary, and that's how he went off the show. So again, definitely some interesting things happened on SmackDown tonight. For grades, there was 9 votes. 66.7% said A, 22.2% said B, 11.1% said C, nobody said D or lower. Give the show a B. A B. I enjoyed it. Again, I enjoyed the beatdown from Sasha and Bayley, the stuff with Roman. The stuff with Roman and Jey interests me. Again, if they're going to turn Roman heel and get him more nuclear heat, how much better would you do it than having him betray one of his own brothers, one of his own best friends in real life? As they are a family. Again, that's the big oos right there. Again, that's definitely interesting to me. I mean, yes, it should have been him and the Fiend, but guess they're saving it for Hell in a Cell. But again, it interests me how they kind of, went with that aspect, of course. The stuff, of course, with Miz, Morrison, and then Heavy Machinery I thought was dumb. But, of course, again, it was a pretty good show. After thinking about it more again, I'll give it a B. B for SmackDown this week. One of the highest grades I've given in a while for SmackDown. What are your thoughts as we get week's episode of SmackDown? Leave thoughts in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe and comment to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. Again, guys, I'll be back up here tomorrow to talk about the release of the Authors of Pain. And also, I will do my live review of AEW All Out 2020. So, guys, until then, have a good rest of your weekend to start off with. Hope you guys have a great 3-day weekend for those of you who are off on Labor Day. And, guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So, until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great night. Peace out, everybody.